We are live.
Yay!
Wait, no one can see you. Remember, you can sing a song right now. There you are. And you are
Hi,
live.
everyone.
Thank you so much for joining. And if you want, we can wait for 30 seconds for everyone to join, or we can just get started. What are the votes?
Well,
Either way,
wait a little bit.
30 seconds is good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I love that silence. So
Warming up. You're warming up.
we are going to have this circle discussion available for everyone as a recorded version on YouTube and as a podcast. So, for podcast introduction, which Katie has told me, I better say something when it's an introduction, otherwise, she wouldn't post anything. So, there it is. Welcome to Empowered Women's Circle. This is where we are going to have conversations that are related to women's life experiences, challenges, and advices. Because we want to make women's life normalized, our problems normalized, our lives normalized, so that Katie seems to have a problem. Okay. And that's what we are going to do today. We are going to have a conversation, and today's conversation is about holiday stress and what we can do about it. And you don't really need to talk about advices. You can talk about your experiences, you can ask questions about your challenges, which is what I am going to do. And are you guys ready?
Yeah.
Yeah, super
Yes.
ready.
And if you have joined, please say hi. I can see a lot of people have joined. Just say hi, tell us where you're from, and ask any questions that you may have now or later on related to anything about holidays, gratitude, stress, or anything else in life. We have all answers, right?
Yes.
It's like 7 women here. Totally, we have answers.
We'll have an answer at least.
Absolutely. So, this is how we are going to start. We are going to go around in circle, and everyone is going to talk about their holidays, what they're planning to do for Thanksgiving or other holidays, what is the stress that they usually face, how these holidays are going to be different from other holidays because this is 2020. Everything is different in this year. And what can we do to manage all these things? And then, if you wish to talk about your gratitude practices, I would love to hear that. Who wants to go first?
Whose name starts with A or B or C or D?
I can go first. Okay, so I'm Carolina, and I live in Argentina. So we don't really celebrate Thanksgiving here, but I do have an American friend who might celebrate. So I might have dinner with her. So I would be looking forward to that. And then my mom is coming to visit for Christmas. So then we would be spending Christmas together. But this is definitely a very weird holiday season, 2020. And it's hard to make any kinds of plans. And I think that really adds a lot to the stress with not really knowing what's going to be possible, who's going to be around, like how many people can meet, and things are changing all the time. So I think that really adds a lot to it. Like with my mom coming over, we might want to go. You can't do like a big thing, so we might want to go to a restaurant. So I don't know how many, which restaurants are open, or I don't know, trying to rent something outside the city so we could get away from the city a little bit. But then Airbnb closes things all the time. So I think that adds a little bit to the stress. And then I feel like this is a very magical time, or I'd like it to be a very magical time usually. And so, but then it's really hard for me to plan things that make it magical, or to have enough time to to like enjoy the season when there's things that are piling up on top of each other. So I got a little bit stressed out by that as well.
Thank you so much, Carolina. And that is so right. That is like in that you talked about the expectations, not just the expectations from the outside, but your own expectations of this time needs to be different. This time needs to be magical, needs to be exceptional, and then doing
Yeah.
things. Let's talk about that when we open up more, when we open up the discussion. I think by rule that Sheetal has set, it's Darby is the next one.
Okay, that sounds great. Hi everyone, I'm Darby. Plans for Thanksgiving this year. So for context, I moved from South Carolina to Massachusetts in April, so still very much new to this area. So in terms of what we're doing and plans and then stressors, they look really different even without a pandemic going on. But my spouse and I are planning to sort of just lay low and be at home, but definitely thinking through like how can we make it special since things are so different. So I think we're going to decorate way earlier than we ever have in the past. So I grew up in a Christian household. Do not attend right now, but I think we're going to put up a Christmas tree like in the next couple of weeks. So just trying to think out of the box, since it's I, along with many others, are just hopefully kind of staying home and laying low.
That sounds like a good idea, and that is very similar to what I am thinking of doing, except for food, because I cannot survive without good food. So I'm going to have lots of good food. But
we're definitely doing that. Yes.
It's an excuse to eat, and eat. Diana, are you ready?
Oh, yes, more than ready. Hi, everyone. I'm Diana, and I'm originally from Bulgaria. For the last 17 years, I live in the States. I'm currently in Seattle and very happy here. The situation is not quite pinkish outside. Everything is locked down right now again. And I thought that we're used to this now, and we went through once, and the second time should be better, but people are going nuts still. So we decided that we're going to stay low like everybody else, spend a lot of time at home. I have two kids, they're 10 and 13, and it's quite interesting to see their reaction on the current situation. I think it's required us to give them way more sense of security and belongings, and just to make them feel loved and comfortable in this situation. So as Purnima said, we're going to spend a lot of time cooking. I'm planning to go back to our heritage and discover traditions that we kind of forgot about it and bring it back alive, teach my kids about it, build a Christmas tree early, as Derby say. I think this is going to be uplifting, and Christmas lights are always uplifting. We have tradition for the last few years to just throw the kids in the car, grab a big bucket of popcorn with us, and just drive around the neighborhood, see all the Christmas lights. And I think this year is going to be very exciting because everybody are excited, and they're like starting to decorate even now. So I think this is going to be a very positive experience for everybody. But in general, I think we have to stay on the positive side. And even if we're not close to our family, it's going to be just for this year. Next year, we're going to be all together again, and things are going to be hopefully different. We learn not to be, we're usually a huge on travel, and we have a lot of plans. This year, we completely rediscover all of this. We're like, okay, this is the time to be spontaneous. Live in the moment now. Don't plan for the future. It's like, and I think this is great because we forgot somehow to live in the moment. We forgot to live in now. We always have been planning, but it's like going back to ground zero, live in the moment now and enjoy it. And it's beautiful. We have been enjoying it.
Yeah. Thank you for that, Anna. And that reminds me of the article that you recently wrote about finding certainty in uncertainty. We can come back to that one. And someone in comments is talking about Diwali lights. And for all of you who have never been to India, you should go to India during Diwali. It's, I don't think you must have ever experienced anything like that in your life. It's beautiful. And thank you for that reminder, Jyoti. And Rajni is talking about some very difficult word. If you can understand that, you can answer to that one. And with that, the next one is Katie. Can Katie hear me? There she is.
Hi, my name's Katie. Please let me know if you have trouble hearing me. I don't know what's going on with my Wi-Fi right now. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay, so I currently live in South Boston with a couple of my roommates, and I'm planning on spending Thanksgiving with my family. So I'm going to be going back home to Connecticut, but of course these holidays look different for me as well. So my family is separated right now due to COVID, so I'll be spending Thanksgiving with just my mom. Unfortunately, my dad and brother are not able to join us, so it's going to be a little smaller than usual, but I'm hoping to set up some sort of Zoom where we can all join and maybe play a family game or do something all together. Um, and aside from that, for Christmas, I'm very excited. My family's planning a road trip down to Florida, so I'll get to soak in the sun, and I'm very grateful for that. Looking forward to that. But I'm trying to just really remember to be flexible because I'm someone that really likes to be in control at all times, and like I want all my family to be there all the time and all of us to be together. So this has been a good reminder that I can't control everything, and just to make the best of whatever experience we end up having, because the holidays are all about love and remembering who I care about. So as long as I get to chat with them in some form, it will be a nice holiday.
That was beautifully said, Katie. But you said that beautifully only after making us jealous about you being in Florida and soaking in the sun. So good job.
I won't post any pictures, don't worry.
You better not. Sheetal, by your own rules, you're the last one.
Yes. That's why that rule.
Smart one. Really?
No. I just said let's just do it this way. I didn't realize I would be the last one, really. So holidays are special for me because my birthday falls a day or two before Thanksgiving. So there is so much happening, and it's a good time for me to also think back and see how that year was. This year is especially different because this year is even harder to find things to appreciate for everybody, right? People are talking about, misery and losses and all those things. And in that, I think my biggest effort this holiday is going to be to sit with my kids and explain to them that how this holiday is different than what we have done before. And I actually like to get ideas from them because I think they have the coolest ideas. So I am going to ask them to create a new tradition this year for us as a family. Like, what would they do now? Now, since it's just going to be the four of us and another four of my, my very closest family who's here, it's usually the eight of us together doing things. So I would ask, there's two kids in that family too, and I would ask them also, like, what do you think we guys should do this year? I think that's my goal. Other than that, just, sitting back and thinking on what efforts need to be made, especially for children. Somehow my focus always goes to children, even when it comes to holidays, because it's like that airplane mode, right? That when you're traveling, you feel that they also tell you that first make sure that your mask is secure, and then you help your children. So my job is to understand what this whole thing is, happening, explaining it to them, and then coming up with a plan together. So mostly what the kids want is what I'm going to do this year.
Thank you, and it makes complete sense, and it's such a cool idea. And Rajni also agrees with me. Before we go to the last one, which is Ribu, there's just one thing I want to say to everyone who is listening to us. Please keep asking questions and tell us about your holiday plans. Tell us about what are you expecting these holidays. How are you planning to celebrate them? And what are your worries in these holidays? We would love to hear, and we can talk about them. About what are you worried about, and if we talk about them, then we'll figure out that everyone is worried about the same thing. Ribu,
Yeah. Hi, everyone. I'm Ripu. I live in Newton and I've been in Mass for the last 12 years. And before that, I was in India. And holiday season is always bittersweet for me because, on one hand, I miss all the Indian festivals, which is the Shera and Diwali, right before you have Thanksgiving and Christmas. So I miss my family. I miss being with them. I miss celebrating with them. But because I've been in the US for this long, I've made my own, I would say, family with my friends. And so usually Thanksgiving is celebrating with them. And on Christmas, I go see my sister. So this year, none of that is going to happen because of COVID. But one good thing that has happened is we have a wonderful person who takes care of our daughter and provides childcare support to us. So we actually are going to celebrate Thanksgiving with them. And so to look at the bright side of COVID is that we are going to celebrate Thanksgiving with a family we probably wouldn't have done had things been different or normal pre-COVID days, because we would have gone and celebrated with our friends. So I think, that's how holidays will be different. But as Diana said, this time has taught me to live in the moment. And I don't live in every moment of it. I think 50% of the times I remind myself to live in the moment, and maybe the rest 50% of the 50% I actually spend in the moment experiencing, oh, look at the crisp fall air, or my kid learned how to walk, or I'm going to go get a coffee today from the local coffee shop, or I took this week off to rest because I was so tired working and I could not wait till the Thanksgiving week to take time off. And just being thankful of everything that's happening around me, irrespective of the circumstances, and being able to take pleasure in every simple thing in life is, I guess, the good part of being in the COVID times, and a stress reliever.
yes, yeah. Thank you so much for that, Ribu. And Ribu opens a really interesting topic, which is anyone finding it difficult to be thankful, particularly because it's 2020? All of us seem to be overworked, exhausted, and stressed, and so many things happening at once. And whatever your anyone can answer this, and whatever your answer is, please tell me why. If you are grateful for anything, and why are you grateful for that thing?
Can I answer?
First.
So there's a lot of things to be grateful for, and like I said before, I was thinking about this, that right now the mindset is more of all the things that are going wrong, and it's finding it really people are finding it really hard to appreciate things. There's so much negativity, there's so much sadness right now. So the fact that you amazing ladies are here, and all the amazing ladies who are writing to us, tells us that there is a reason for us to be grateful for something. There is something that we should be thankful for, that we are here today talking. And I think personally for me, I have to sit down and find it, that this is something that is good that has happened to me. This is something good that could not have been here today, but it has happened to me. So I am grateful for that. And it could be as simple as your husband making a tea for you and bringing it to you, and you're like, oh, great, I'm really thankful for that. So just finding it, that is, I think that's really needed for all of us.
That is true. Finding small moments that we could be thankful for. So Rajni here is saying that it's strange. Let me put it up here. It's strange, but she is thankful for being able to spend so much time with her family, especially her parents. That is really a blessing. That is such a beautiful thing for you to have, Rajni. Anyone else wants to tell about their thankfulness, gratitude? Because Thanksgiving is so close, we can smell it. I can smell the turkey.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll jump in.
Yeah.
For me, like I'm thankful for new communities. Like I happened to reach out to Zach and Purnima over the weekend, and all of a sudden I'm sitting here live with all of you, which is like face to face as much as you can call it face to face right now. So I think that's a big piece of what I'm grateful for, particularly having made a big decision to move in the past year and started a new job. Like there's been lots of new things coming at me. So yeah, grateful for new communities, grateful for more time with my spouse. I think like you learn so much about people, bad and good, like when you're around them more. And I think like we've grown as a relationship just in terms of our communication style and our honesty with one another, because we've never like been so close on a day-to-day basis, like physically. So definitely grateful for that, and grateful for the small moments when he doesn't get frustrated with me for not washing the dishes, or he brings me a ginger ale or something. It's just definitely, it's gratitude in general right now is something that I'm having to actively cultivate, because as others have said, it's like it's really easy to focus on the negative, and I find myself thinking, okay, do I write it down? Like, how do I consistently maintain gratitude? I think when I was reading some of these questions, I was thinking, how do I manage stress? How do I cultivate gratitude? And like both right now is like, I'm not really feeling like I'm doing it consistently. So maybe that's a new goal for me, is to manage things more consistently.
Yeah, I agree. I have these ups and downs where there are days where I feel happy and I'm thankful for everything I have in my life. And then there are days that are so stressful because none of us learned or went to school to learn how to live in COVID times. We haven't aced that exam or prepared for it. And yet we have to learn how to work remotely in isolation. And even if you have your family, you're still isolated because you're not meeting your friends and other people or going for a movie or theater or other stuff. And I have learned that every time I have these stresses, to remind myself of a checklist that I have in my head about everything right in my life. And that includes like having a home to live in, having food on the table, having a job that respects me and treats me with dignity, having a spouse that treats me with dignity, having a child I love and they love you back, and a spouse and a family that loves you back, whether or not they're present physically with you in the same house, and being able to take care of my garden, which brings me a ton of joy. And I'm really glad everything's not dead right now. And so it's almost like, you go through a low and then you just keep reciting this checklist back to you. And eventually you come out of it and then you feel happy about everything you have and start living in that moment again. But it's so true that this season is so isolating and stressful and hard emotionally.
Yeah. Thank you. Whoever gave us this theme of living in the moment, I forgot who it was, but
Diana.
Deanna, thank you. And Carolyn, you were saying something.
Yeah, I was going to say that for me, I noticed that I have become hyper aware actually of all of the things that I am grateful for, and because I feel there's this pandemic has affected so many people so harshly that it's kind of brought to the surface for me the things that all of the inequalities that have already have existed for forever in our society and made them even worse. And so it just makes me even more aware of like even the tiniest things that usually I take for granted, like you guys have mentioned, having a house, having dinner on the table, having, you know, being able to live with my daughter and not being completely alone. So many people are suffering from depression because they're completely alone and isolated from all of their families. So like all of these tiny little things have, I keep noticing them more often. And then the other thing that I also wanted to mention is that I liked how a lot of people talked about traditions and rituals for the holidays. And that's something that for me has been difficult because my whole life, like I moved around a lot, and then also having family all over the world. Sometimes my Christmases or my holidays are always different, and so it's hard to sometimes maintain rituals and traditions. But those are so important in helping us stay in the moment and helping us stay grounded and connected to our family, ourselves. And so I liked that a lot of people mentioned that, and it reminded me to try to take some more time to more intentionally think about what kinds of rituals I can create this year that will help me do that.
Yep. I haven't had much of consistency and rituals. And actually this year I have developed way more consistency than ever. I want to read a few comments. We have one is Jyoti. She's in London and they are in complete lockdown now. So she is keeping her fingers crossed about some relaxation in lockdown. Then we read Rajni. Then Jyoti is grateful for her family's. Our thoughts are so similar, everyone's, all of us, and Jyoti, which is she's grateful for her family, that her family is in good health, and she's with immediate family and friends are feel we are connected, more connected than before. That is true, thanks to Zoom and WhatsApp. Yep. What would we do without Zoom and WhatsApp? And Rajni. Yes, Rajni is reminding us. Actually, both Jyoti and Rajni are reminding us we should be thankful for technology. None of you thanked Zoom.
I'm so thankful for Zoom.
And Lakshmi is grateful to be alive and for her loved ones to be well. So many don't get that to say. Absolutely true. Yes, 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 yes. So true. And hello, Google.
I don't know.
He is like, me too. I'm thankful for technology. I'm thankful for.
Every time she does it.
She wants to be heard. Any before we leave each other, any thoughts, any questions, anything that we should be talking about before holidays?
I think that as Sheetal mentioned earlier, it's a great year to make new traditions, whether that be listening to what your children have to say, coming up with your own ideas. Like as I was mentioning before, it's just me and my mom for Thanksgiving. So I was saying, why are we cooking a 20-pound turkey for two of us when I don't even like turkey? Like, why don't we come up with a new tradition? Why don't we make homemade pizza or order Chinese food or something that will bring us a lot more joy than a turkey? So I think now is a good chance to sit down and evaluate what we do every year and see if it's actually bringing us joy and adding value to our day to day, or maybe it's something that we want to change moving forward.
That is such a big point. It is related to everything that we think. We have this framework and society's definitions of everything, how we should do certain things. And in reality, all that we need to do is just do what gives you joy, what makes you feel like holiday. And it was such a wonderful thing to hear from all of you that that same thought resonates. I'm so proud of having friends like this. Okay, with that, so next time we are going to, if no one has anything more to share, next time we are going to. Of course, yes. Go ahead.
I just want, and I wanted to share this because I think right now everybody is on a big emotional roller coaster from the whole year, and I think to go through these holidays, we all really need to understand the emotions, where we are, how we are feeling, and acknowledge them. If we address those emotions, I'm angry, I'm frustrated, I'm tired, I'm depressed, I'm just not in the mood, or I want to do so much. I think first understanding what you want and then working on it might really make your holidays a lot easier than just like, oh, I have to do it because everybody is doing it. So I will very genuinely ask you guys to talk to yourself.
I love that honesty. Thank you.
Yeah, and I would also say that if you have someone you can trust and open up, whether it's your spouse or your friends, it's really important to share what you're feeling. It happened with me a couple of months ago that I was talking to my friend and I just said, there's some days I just feel like this. And she's like, me too. And I had been bottling up those emotions for a few months. And this is already a few months ago, right? So maybe like 6 months ago is when it all started. And it was so nice to just let it out. And now every time I call her up, I do say, by the way, this is what I felt at X, Y, and Z. And she's like, yeah, I felt that too. And then I realized a lot of frustration and stress that you're feeling, other people are also experiencing it. And that if you can share it with someone, you do good to yourself and to them.
Yeah,
So, and I would also say that like be less on social media because sometimes looking at other people's pictures makes you jealous, and different people celebrate things differently, and people are not always honest on social media. So, don't let that bring you down more in an already very difficult.
yes, I was sharing exactly something very similar at the beginning when we met. And it's like the moment you share your vulnerability with somebody else, you discover that you're not alone. And then you feel much more normal and everything. You just release this heavy weight out of you and you feel much better. So, yes, everybody find somebody to talk about it and to share your feelings because we don't need to can those up in ourselves.
Oh my God. Thank you. I am so glad that, we waited for Sheetal to share that little bit of thing. It just changed the whole direction of everything. Thank you, Sheetal, for opening that up. And it is also related to what Katie said. Katie, like, if you know that you like Chinese, but you need to know that you like Chinese. And for that, you need to stop looking at other people, like Ribu said, and look at yourself. And like Sheetal said, look at internally and decide that you like Chinese. And if you still don't know what you like, share it with your friends. Ask, talk to them. And as you go on talking to them about your problems, you will figure out if you like Chinese or not. I do like Chinese, by the way. Oh, love it. It's making me hungry now. Now I have to go get some lunch, and I advise you guys do the same. And next time, we are planning to talk about planning. So, planning to talk about planning in 2021. We have the circle monthly. So, next time when we have this, it's going to be December 16th. And that would be a good time to start thinking about, how to plan during, how to be certain during uncertainty, how to plan in spite of ambiguity. And would love to have, if you guys are free, would love to have you back again. And that goes to our audiences also. If any one of you is interested in sharing your thoughts, please let me know. Uh, and we would love to have you. And I feel so nice after this session. I hope you guys feel too. And any final thoughts one more time?
I
Just
just
grateful for all of you.
go ahead.
Sorry, I was just going to say I'm just really grateful for all of you.
Yeah, I just want to share a quote a friend of mine brought to my attention this week, which was, I think, right on the right moment. So I have it here for you. So the quotes say, "It's not the year to have everything you want. It's the year to appreciate everything you have." So it's again going to those precious moments that we're experiencing right now, in which we usually brush very easily out of our day, but now that more than ever they're very important. And it's like, even as Shital say, it's like enjoying a cup of tea with your husband or with a friend. It's like, it's incredible. And it's like, take the time, enjoy this moment, share what you thought, and it's like incredible. And I think Christmas, it's perfect opportunity for all of us to learn about new holiday tradition, even if it's not our own holiday tradition. It's like, my daughter asked me yesterday, she's like, "Mom, do we celebrate Diwali?" And I'm like, "We don't, but here we go." It's like it's a good opportunity for us to learn and see how we can celebrate it, and we can do it.
Diana, that is so brilliant, because it really breaks my heart when usually in India, if you wish someone happy Diwali, people would just wish you back happy Diwali. It doesn't matter what religion you are, doesn't matter if you celebrate or not celebrate. You say Merry Christmas to someone, person will say it back. And in America, I learned that people actually reply to you, "I do not celebrate this." And I was like taken aback. I'm like, what reply is that? Like, just say thank you. Or just say, just reply same thing. I mean, it's about celebration, good wishes, bringing, health, wealth, happiness, prosperity, all the good stuff to everyone.
I agree. I think this is something I miss the most about India and the holiday season, because in India there's a holiday every month, and it doesn't matter what your religion is, because it's a secular country.
It's all about food for Purnima.
It's all about food and decorations and meeting your friends and family. So I totally agree. But I think it's a good way to bring more joy and happiness and find reasons to celebrate, and at the same time educating the next generation to be more inclusive.
Yes.
Yeah. Jyoti here is saying that we are privileged to celebrate Eid, Diwali, Christmas, and everything, and have food for everything.
Yeah. Unique food for everything, not the same.
Yeah.
And I think also that making a gratitude list, because even if things nosedive for you this year and a lot of things didn't work out, there is still a lot to be thankful for. And I think if you would sit down to make a list of everything you have in life and you value in life versus everything that you weren't able to do this year, you'd be surprised to find out how much you have to celebrate.
Absolutely.
Speaking
Actually,
of
that reminded me. Sorry if I interrupted somebody. That reminded me that my mom. So I live in Argentina. My mom lives in Brazil. But every Sunday we created this tradition only like a month ago, where we talk every Sunday and we just go around, the three of us, me, my daughter, and my mom, saying what we're grateful for that week, and that has been very wonderful.
Wow, that's so cool.
Diana? Yeah, we actually have been doing maybe for over a year now a tradition every evening before dinner. When we sit down for dinner, it's like every one of us has to share one thing from that day that they're grateful for, and you cannot. If somebody mentions something, you have to have something else. You don't just repeat everybody. So it has been very interesting experience to see how what you can find gratitude in so many different things and so many different experiences. So it has been very interesting during the lockdowns that we all have been grateful for something, and this gratefulness brings so much positive energy into the room that is like, it's setting the night for such a success. And it's like you go to bed with full heart, and the next day you're just ready for everything. So it's incredible. Yeah, it's a great tradition, Carolina.
Yeah.
I want to share one very small thing, Purnima, quickly. So when I say goodbye to my kids when they go to school every day, like when they were going to school, I say, okay, bye, goodbye, I love you, and then do a good deed. That's like when they're running to the bus, I'm like, do a good deed. And it took time for them also to understand, like every day how I have to do a good deed. Like, but then when they came home, I asked them every day, like, what good did you do today? And they would start off with, oh, I picked up a pencil that my friend dropped and I gave it to him. And I'm like, okay, that is a good deed. And that's where we started. And now they come and tell me, oh, my friend was feeling very lonely and I spoke to him. I'm like, okay, that's a good deed. So, little things, and we just don't even realize how these happen around us. And I think we are all capable of finding those.
Yeah. And I'm going to react to that. Before that, I want to show you Lakshmi is saying thank you to all of us. And you guys should read it for yourself. Thank you, Lakshmi, for saying thank you. And
Beautiful.
it's about setting intentions. Sheetal, what you were talking about is if we set an intention, then we can do it more than what we can do it. They would have done that good deed anyways, maybe. But setting, you gave them that power of setting that intention and then achieving it and feeling happy about it. And going back to your own point, which is then, looking inwardly and feeling good about, and then knowing that when you do good deed, you actually do it for your own happiness more than for others.
True, very true.
I love that. I'm gonna adopt that with my daughter too. I love it.
Yes. It's really fun with what things they come up with. It's amazing. Sometimes it's not even real, but they, at least they think about it. They know they have to answer me.
Oh, I am just glad that I didn't have Sheetal as my mom. It's too much pressure to be nice. With that, I'm going to take my facilitator power in my hand and going to end the session and would love to see you guys next time. And,
Yeah, absolutely.
and keep talking on our squad. That helps me a lot too, to learn new things every day and see what everyone else is doing.
So Purnima, some of these girls who were here, right? Some of them are my friends. My other friends logged in, and they were wondering how you can get on, to this groups. Should we just invite them, or can they go send a request?
Yeah, you can. One is, usually we invite people that we know on the circle. And in the squad, once we finish this, I'll send you a link. Feel free to share the link with them. They can just request and one of us will approve. Carolina, Katie, or me, one of us will approve the request. And on the circle, whenever we think of the topic, like this time we already have a topic. If they're interested in sharing their experiences, thoughts, they can get in touch with any one of us or you. And, we don't have any official, we don't have any structure. We just do things with a lot of passion and consistency. And, and internally we call it, we can't, this is empowered women is our baby, and we can't let the baby be hungry. We have to always keep on feeding it. So no matter what we feed the baby, we just keep on taking care of it.
Yeah.
With that, any other questions before we say bye-bye?
Oh, I just want to thank everyone. I think I learned so much from all of you about new traditions, how to find gratitude, everyday good deed, and then connecting with our family, like making it a schedule so that nobody skips on it. I think they're all fantastic ideas that anybody can kind of put them in practice in their life. And then we are thankful that we have a family to be able to put it in practice with, right? So thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
It was wonderful.
No, a wrong video. 1 second. This is the next circle. It's going to be planning in 2021.
Bye.